Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the press conference with FlyQuest, coming off their victory against Leviathan. We're here with Bwipo, Masu, and Inspired. We're just gonna take questions for the room. Inspired? Oh, sorry, Bullshit. Sorry. They said Inspired was coming. Sorry. Esse aqui, cara.
Hi guys, congrats. And match from Save the Nexus. Do you wanna feel pressure and represent your religion abroad? And what do you feel and Brazilian fans?
It's the first time I've ever been booed, so that's nice. Honestly, it's just a really fun experience because it makes you feel like the crowd is really cheering for the enemy team. So either you're trying to keep them quiet, or if they're cheering for you, then obviously you're going to be, more excited to make plays. You're more excited to look for angles, and it becomes more of a entertainment factor. So for me, that's always exciting.
Good af- Good afternoon. I am Mark Sere from the Around the Rift, and my question is to Bwipo. Af 2.5 years ago, we are talking about life, about a lot of things here in Brazil, and at the time you think about whole swap to mid, and you are in bench of Team Liquid. How you overcome the problems, overcome the situation, and be the big dog again, be the LCS champion, be top 8 in worlds? How you overstep these problems?
I think finding yourself and being satisfied with what. First, you need to know what you can do. You need to know what you cannot do, and you need to know how far you're willing to go. I think if you're trying to make it somewhere in life, these are the three things you should think about. Once you've established those three things, it's about doing it. And for me, I felt like in Team Liquid, I was simply not using the fact that I was really. I'm annoying to work with. It's hard to work with me because I will not allow you to do something that's the easy way out. If I think you're doing something that isn't you or isn't the best for you, I will argue with you until you stop and start being yourself. And in Team Liquid, I wasn't doing that. I let people just make the first decision, be who they thought they wanted to be, not who they actually were. And I think that's why our performance went south, because I didn't take enough responsibility for other people. Also for myself. One of the reasons why I play my thing is because, well, that's me. I'm best at this. So I think it's really important to follow those three terms. Set the three terms for yourself. What can I do? What can I not do? And what am I willing to do? Because, you might be able to climb Mount Everest. Doesn't mean you want to. So it's important to be honest with yourself and the people around you. And I think that's what gave me a lot of value in Fnatic. That's why I had so much success in Fnatic. That's why I didn't have success in Team Liquid, and now I do in FlyQuest, because I think I keep my teammates pretty honest, and I make sure that they're all playing things that they're very good at.
Hi, I'm Things from Revela News and Bwipo. You have got international experience. What would you say is the biggest difference between the teams in the LEC and LTA?
LEC or LTA, huh? It's pretty similar. I think there's teams that are themselves, and they use their own strategies. They look at their players' strengths, like when I look at my teammates like Masu and Busio, it's like there's certain things they're really good at. There's certain things they're good at. There's certain things they're not so good at. Same for me, right? If you watch me play, like maybe you don't want to see Quinn, Probably not. I don't either. And when Worlds rolls around, international events roll around, people are like, oh, all the Asians are playing Quinn. I should play Quinn too. Should you? And I think that's the question people aren't asking. I think you should find ways to play into Quinn and kind of play to your own strengths. Like, for example, should I be blind picking Jay? Should I be blind picking Ambessa? Or should I find champions that are very good into those champions and use those into them? Well, you know my answer. And it seems to work pretty well. Even internationally, this is what I've always done. I think this is the biggest difference with LEC teams, LTA teams. they're the same. They all like look at Asia and they're like, let's play that. Maybe you shouldn't.
Hello, I'm Thais from My Sports. My question goes to anyone who wants to answer. And Bwipo spoke on a pros podcast that he feels that the biggest strength for 100 Thieves it's all the 5 players fighting together. And a lot of people think that FLY2-0 is one of the biggest teams from the LTA North, but 100 Thieves came as seed 1. How you guys will show your strength to beat them?
It is true. 100 Thieves' main strength is definitely they just fight together and they fight a lot. But at the same time, that is also their weakness sometimes. They fight too much or they're over aggressive. And are you okay? Okay, that's good. And yeah, we were not first seed, they were first seed, but I do believe we're the better team, and as long as we're playing together, we should win.
Well, that was a hit. My question goes to Masu and Busu. First of all, I want to know how do you guys receive the Brazilian experience as long as you are guys here, and having a half Brazilian in the team, that hits different.
So far, my experience in Brazil has been pretty good. I really like the food. There's a lot of meat. And it's helpful to have Bwipo because he might know some words, or he knows a lot of words in Portuguese, and he kind of knows like good food, or he knows what we should and shouldn't do while we're here. Um, in terms of my experience, I guess on stage when we got booed, it was also pretty fun because it was nice to see everyone is like so passionate about their team, and they're not like personally attacking you. So it's good to see how passionate they are.
I agree. I mean, the passion and the energy in this studio is really cool. And I would not imagine a studio of this size to have that much sound. That was epic.
Hello, guys. Congratulations for the win. I'm Mariana from Metroworld News. So, you've had a series with the first game more dominant and a slightly more complicated second one. How do you rate the team performance in the series? And what could you improve for the next match?
I think the second game we had a little bit of lane swap complication. I was a bit further behind than we should have been. It was a good response for the enemy team. I think that we did a good job of getting a lead top lane though, and or on the bot lane. I just think I got a bit too excited sometimes. Our composition was very much needing me to be patient, and sometimes I committed a bit too hard, and I kind of got caught out. So I think the second game was more complicated because I died like 5 or 4 times. I think if I avoid those, it should be fine game. But I think for the most part, I think we wanted to prove everyone, including ourselves, that we could play a slow and controlled game. And even when we made mistakes, we would dial it back, focus on our win condition, and still play through that. So I think I'm very proud of my teammates today that we were able to do that because, yeah, our practice was a bit of a mess sometimes.
Next question, Pedro Romero.
Hello, guys. Can you guys hear me? All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Well, first off, congrats on the victory over Leviathan today. Well deserved. I got a question for mostly the 3 of you guys. You guys are answering. I understand that throughout this press conferences, you guys been covering the progression of this team. From last year up until this year. I want to pinpoint exactly onto from the end of like LTA North Split 1 playoffs, all that stuff, to right now. Given that you guys had to fly over to Brazil, have a quick turnaround, and having to get settled over there in a new environment, what do you feel has been the biggest challenge in having to maintain the same level of form while also trying to deal with the other teams that are taking part in this competition? And again, this goes out to all 3 of you guys, or anyone who would like to answer.
Hello. Yeah, definitely like one thing is adjusting. It was a pretty quick turnaround, as you said, and everybody has to adjust to jet lag, get into the routine again, just be ready to practice here because we'll still be here for more time. And our form, like going back to like last year Worlds, was obviously higher, and it's just about building up again and then surpassing that peak. And it just is the same process as always. Just scrim well and focus on improving.
Next question from Ian Teixeira from Mais Sports for Bwipo. He says, you mentioned your Brazilian roots in the past, and today was your first time playing here. The community here it has great admiration for you. Do you think there's a chance you could represent a Brazilian organization at some point in your career?
I've thought about that a lot actually, and I think I would want to represent it as a coaching member, a coaching head coach. I don't think I'd want to play because I think what the region really needs is a strong hand. I think the hardest part about finding success internationally and playing on a really high level is realizing it's not that different from what you guys are doing. I think a lot of people try to find miracles. Miracles don't happen because you want them to happen. They happen because you practice the same things you do every single day. Why can a Brazilian footballer compete with a Belgian footballer? It's because they practice hard. They do the same things every day. They're better because they know if you do the same thing every day that all the other professionals do, that's what's going to make you the best in the world. I think a lot of people, when it comes to league, they don't digest what the best players in the world do. But if you actually just look at a point of view from like Faker, from like Canyon, well, Faker's a bad example because he looks at everyone. But if you look at Canyon's point of view when he's jungling, he holds spacebar during his full clear, and he just efficiently clears, and he plays a very steady game. Nothing crazy happens. He makes smart decisions over and over again, and then he connects with his teammates. And what I'm trying to say is, there's not enough focus on doing that for a whole 25 minutes. People do it for the first 14 minutes. They lane well, right? Like, for example, today, like, I'm playing against Zothvi, I think it is. He's playing Gnar. He's laning well. 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 Laning phase ends, and suddenly I'm just like, why is he doing this? And the answer is because people think you have to do more because sometimes the best players in the world do more. But when that happens, it's because out of a demand. The game is losing. It's in a bad spot. You have to do something. A lot of the time recognizing that, hey, what you're doing is great. Keep it up. Don't overplay. I think that's a very fine line to dance. And I think that having someone with a lot of experience and that is well respected teach these to the players is really important. I will say there's not many players that can do this, not many coaches either, because ultimately, I think that's a very valuable skill to have. And I'm super happy that I got to find that skill in Fnatic, right? Like I had 3 years of international experience. That was very successful. And this is what I learned. What did we do those 3 years? Did we do anything crazy? No, we picked scaling champions, all laned well, and then we team fought. That's it. Like there was nothing that Fnatic did in those years that made us special or unique. We had a formula, we practiced it really hard, and we made people play our game. And that's why if I were to work in Brazil, I would want to be a staff member because I want to have the control over all my players and tell them, right here, you don't need to do that. Stop doing that. Because a lot of the mistakes people make are just a matter of, hey, why are you doing this? Like, you don't need to do this. Why do you feel the need to do that? I think that's the biggest mistake people make. I am super victim to this. Like, I am always doing too much. So that's why I know very well.
Next question, Cloud.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
So my question's to Busio. How would you judge so far the level of the Southern teams, and would you stream your scrims with them?
I was pleasantly surprised by our practice quality with the LTA Southern teams. They are pretty good, and I enjoy practicing against them. And of course, we'd be down to stream scrims. I just don't know if we have the facilities and the setup for it right now. But of course, it's always a good time.
Last questions from Igal from Lag TV.
Sure, can you hear me, guys?
Yep.
Okay, cool. First of all, congratulations for this match that you had. The first day, we have two teams from North America passing to the second stage, to semifinals. What are the expectations for the next match against 100 Thieves? And if that expectations are in sight about how the North American gaming style is about or above the South American way to play? To any of you.
Sorry, what was the second part of the question?
how it feels about having the match against one North America team, in this case 100 Thieves, and how it feels to play in another way that you should play in North America against the southern teams.
It'll be exciting to play against 100 Thieves. I think they've been ramping up in the LTA North, and they're a unique team. I think they have a very make or break style, so they can win the whole game on one play or lose the whole game. So it'll be fun playing against them.
Okay, that's it. That was
Thank
all
you
the
so much.
questions. Thank you so much, guys, and see you next week.
What a demolition by FlyQuest. I mean, that was not fair. Poor Lev. They're like, oh, we got the top 2 seed. We're not gonna have to face Team Liquid or FlyQuest, and then they get literally FlyQuest, who's probably our best team. Like, I actually like these press conferences where it's more than one player. Obviously sometimes a player who's like not very talkative. In this case, like Masu doesn't speak much, but I think it's nice having like multiple people. I liked it for this press conference and for the 100 Thieves press conference. So I'm gonna keep doing these. I know there's only like a few more left, but it's been pretty entertaining. The questions are interesting sometimes, but obviously that's always gonna happen. So sometimes I was like, oh, I would have never thought to ask that, but yeah, apparently Bwipo wants to at some point coach in Brazil. So we'll see what happens. And thanks all for watching, and hopefully you guys enjoyed.